heard the girlies are doing no lashes and killing it. What's up? What's tea? What's poppin'?
Baby, 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 from the day I saw you, I really, really want to catch your eye.
Hey, it's your girl Kendall Harts, and today we are going to be doing my 10-minute everyday makeup routine. Literally the makeup look that I do every day, whether I'm running errands, whether I'm going to the mall, whether I'm going to work sometimes. Like, this is my signature look, and it's really like a no foundation makeup routine, honestly. So, and obviously this is my 10-minute makeup routine. This video is not going to be 10 minutes long because I'm going to be talking through everything, but it does take 10 minutes. Trust me, take my word for it. I would not lie to you guys. I just feel like every girl, every woman should have a makeup routine that they could do real quick. 10 minutes. We don't need to be taking an hour every single time. Sometimes that's okay. 2 hours, 3 hours is okay. But if you got to do what you got to do and do 10 minutes, you need to be able to do that. And it's also no foundation, no lashes. And the reason I emphasize no lashes is because I feel like with heavier lashes, you can do like a heavier look. But whenever you don't have lashes and you're trying to embrace, you know, your natural lashes with just mascara, it's very imperative that you do like a certain style of makeup, I think, so that you still look natural and cute and that you still look, you know, bright and awake and refreshing and beautiful. So this is like the specific makeup that I've been doing. Not too much, not too crazy, and mascara only, okay? I don't want to do too much talking. Let's get straight into it. All of the products and everything will be in the description box down below, so don't forget to check it out. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Guys, so first things first, I'm going to be using the Refi Primer. It is the Blur and Hydrate Face Primer. I honestly haven't decided if I believe in primer yet. Like, typically, I don't really notice like a huge difference, so it honestly depends on my mood whether I'm going to do a primer or not. But today, I'm feeling it, so let's go ahead and do it. Refi has really good primers. Elf also has really good primers. I think I've heard really good things about the One Size one as well. Of course, I already did my skincare and my moisturizer off camera. It starts there. After that, the very next thing that I do is my brows, and I use this got to be, what is this, Ultra Glued Invincible Styling Gel. I don't care. People have been telling me to get like a regular brow gel because this is really for your hair. But I don't care, it works. It takes a bit longer to dry than like a normal eyebrow gel. But once it's stuck, it's stuck. So I'm gonna ride with her until the wheels fall off. I don't care. But yeah, and then also like a little bit goes a long way. So I just brush them up. Honestly, I need my eyebrows done. So this really isn't ideal timing for this video, but we're gonna make it work. Just wait. Just a pea size amount. And like I said, I'm putting it on first so that it gives them some time to dry. And I just brush up and then across. So slightly. I hate, one of my pet peeves, and I don't want to say hate because everybody has their different styles of makeup, you guys, but when girls just brush up their brows and they leave them up, straight up, oh, that irks me. Like, brush it across. Then what I like to do is take a Q-tip and wipe around the outside of your eyes so that you're not leaving any residue. We want a very clean look. And I found sometimes when I skip this step, I have like little patches and it looks weird. So real quick, real easy. Okay, now for my least favorite makeup step, I'm going to be concealing my dark marks. As you can see, I do have lots of hyperpigmentation on my face. That's relatively new just from like hormonal changes and stuff. I used to never ever get acne, and now I do, and literally every single pimple leaves a dark mark whether I pick it or not. I don't know what's up with my skin. They usually fade, and I've been working on like getting rid of them and clearing them, and they've come a long way. But yeah, girl, it's a work in progress. If you're somebody who struggles with dark marks, don't stress it. Your skin is still beautiful, not a big deal. Still be confident, embrace it and work on it. Embrace it while you work, okay? This is a pretty good color match, honestly. There's some areas, like my face is obviously different shades, so there's some areas where it's not exact, but there's some areas where I'll be like, where did it go? I will kind of let that sit and marinate for a few minutes, really like 1 minute. So I'm going to be using the Too Faced concealer. This is also another one of my holy grails. I haven't tried too many concealers because this one never really does me wrong. But this one and the Hourglass one, chef's kiss. Too Faced Born This Way, and it's in the shade Honey. And so we'll take my little, I'm sorry y'all, I can't even tell y'all what brush this is. I've had this for a minute. but it's just like a regular angled brow brush. I think it's from Morphe. The freaking lettering has worn off, it's so old. But I'll take this, dab a little bit, and I will line under my eyes. I'm pretty like carefree about brows. I like a natural brow look. I don't really like harsh, overly concealed brows. So for me, natural, fluffy, but still clean is my vibe. And for that reason, I don't line over it. And trust me, y'all, some of y'all might be like, whoa, why on earth is she putting the concealer before she fills in her brows? Trust me, it looks better. I didn't think so at first, and I started doing it. It looks better. I think what it is, after thinking about it, it gives you a more contained, precise area to fill in. Like when you don't conceal it, you just fill it in anywhere. But once you conceal it, it's like, okay, I only have this spot to fill in, and it just looks more clean. And then of course I'm gonna brush some off on my hands and start just wiping it down. Wiping it down. Try not to get too close to my eye. I know this is supposed to be 10 minutes, girl, but if you have to slow down, take your time to look cute, do that. Okay, so then by that point, the concealer should be relatively dry. You don't want it to get too dry because then it will be kind of stuck and harder to blend. So I feel like this is the perfect medium. And I'll start with the outer corners and just blend, or not the corners, but like the outside of it, and blend that part. Like I won't really touch the inside that much, just to dab it in, if that makes sense. So I'll dab and then I'll blend out. And this is kind of how you get like that seamless blend. Like, do y'all see that? We're patting it in and then blending the outsides. Patting it in, blending the outsides. Once that's done, I'm gonna go back in with my Born This Way Too Faced concealer, and I'm gonna go under my eye. I know that different people do different placements with this, but I kind of like to do like a V shape and very close to my eye. I don't put any up here because I find that I can drag it up there on my own with the brush. But yeah, concealer placement is very important. You don't want to be putting your concealer too low on your cheeks to where it's dragging your face down. You want to keep it kind of close to your eye. That creates more of like a lifted, snatched look. And then I will put some a little bit above my lip, on my chin, a dot here, a line here, a circle there. That's it, babe. And so for this part, I will let my under eye sit, but everything else I blend in pretty much immediately. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my chin first. And with my concealer, I don't blend outwardly. I kind of just pat it in and then blend the edges. So I'm not, you notice I'm not like just bringing it all throughout my chin. And sometimes if you feel like you have just a lot, you can pat it on your hand. I do that quite often. Nose, and then I'll just go up and down with my nose. Notice I'm not bringing it all the way to the side of my nose, just up and down. Same thing with this area. Kind of drag it down towards my brows. I'm not going too crazy into my forehead. And notice that my underbrows are not all the way blended out, so I'm going to take this brush. It is the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, and I don't think it has a number on here, but Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, and this is the Real Techniques Setting Brush, the 402, what I used for, you know, to blend all my concealer. And so I'm just going to kind of take it and literally just spread it over my eye. Like I said, this is 10 minutes, so this is my 10-minute everyday makeup. Nothing too crazy, literally just to make sure that it's blended and you still get your highlight up there. So there's no real technique to this. I just do it until it looks good. By the time I'm done with that, I'm gonna go back in with my Real Techniques 402, and y'all, I'm a brush girl. You're not gonna see me use a beauty blender, sorry. I feel like beauty blenders soak up the product, and I already don't use a lot of products for my everyday look. So if I was doing more of like a glam look, that's probably where I would use the beauty blender. But for this, it's like there's already minimal product. I need to keep it there and like pack it on. So yeah, going back in, and this is very important. Let me not even start. I start from the outwards and work my way in. So I'm going to blend the edges of this blending everything. Like I said, I want to lift. So this little mark of my cheekbone, I'm not going past that. So I'm paying very close attention. And you just want to pat. You're literally just patting. Blending is just pat with a little tiny drag. And so once I blend the edges on that one, I'll go to the next eye, blending the edges. And y'all, this brush is tea. Like, it blends so well. I love it. And if you notice how the insides are still wet, the outside is fully blended, that's what you want. So now I'm going to go back in and literally just pat the inside very lightly, not going out on the outer corners. I'm not bringing it way up here. I'm literally just patting that inner corner. Pat it into your nose, pat it up into your eye. And you can also look up while you do this, just so that you don't really develop a crease. My under eyes don't really crease on a normal day. Sometimes they decide to act crazy, but I don't deal with a lot of creasing. So, and sometimes I do get areas where it's like, it's a little bit weird. So I'll go back in with that same brush and get into like the smaller, hard to reach places and just blend it out. Perfect. Okay, now for the part that brings everything together, my skin tint. This is the skin tint that I use. It's the NARS Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. Oh, I guess it's not skin tint, it's tinted moisturizer. But I think it's pretty thick to be like considered a tinted moisturizer. I think this is skin tint, I don't care. But it has SPF 30, and this is the shade Havana Medium Deep 3. And I will put literally the smallest amount on my hand. AOA Studio high definition brush. Y'all, I literally got this from a random store in the mall. I don't know if it's online. I'll look for y'all, put it in the description box. But just any type of wide angled brush would be good. Not even angled, but just wide, fluffy, denser brush. And I'll just put that literally on the areas where I didn't put my concealer. And I'll just blend everything in. It makes the smallest difference, but it looks so good for like up close, those areas where your concealer was a little bit splotchy. And this is like my perfect shade, so I love it. And I'll go up some, but I'm trying not to go too far into my concealer because I still want to have that highlighted effect. And of course, bring it down in that neck, girl. Get that neck. It depends on the day. Sometimes I'll put it in my forehead, sometimes I skip it. It just depends on how the makeup's looking. Today I might as well. And also turn to the side. Look at that area where you put your highlight and make sure that it's not looking crazy. Because from the front it always typically looks good, but it's when you turn to the side that you're like, ooh, that's not blending. Now for my nose specifically, I'll literally take the little bit of excess, and I'm using the Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques again, and the brush number 200. And this is like a little bit smaller than this one, so I could use it for like my nose area and kind of just blend. You don't want to blend too much, but you don't want to have like those harsh lines like how I just had. Yes. Next for my contour, I'm going to be using the Hourglass foundation stick in the shade Chestnut. This is very tea. A little goes a long way. So what I will do, instead of putting it like directly on my skin, I'll take a little brush. I'll take a little fluffy brush. I'll just get some product and then use the brush to put the product on my face. Because if you do it directly from the stick, it's just a lot to have to blend. And yeah, I just prefer not to do that. I used to do that, and it just took forever to blend, so I started working smarter, not harder. So y'all can see it's already really pigmented on my cheekbones and that little crease right there. And I like to brush it kind of up to give myself a lifting effect. So like little tiny baby strokes up. I'll basically do like a C, like from my eyebrow here. I don't know if it's showing in camera, but you can see the difference from this side and this side. I already have kind of like a natural cheekbone lifting going on, so I don't really put too much of this, but it just gives your face like some warmth. Well, I don't like too much of a heavy contour, but do what you like. If you like more contour, put more contour. I like the skin soft matte soft makeup look. So, and then I will do a little bit on my chin just to bring kind of some shape to my jawline. Now using the same brush a different brush but the same brush style. So I have two of these. One of them I use for like the light areas like I just showed y'all, and then one of them I use for my nose contour, the dark areas. So this is the one I use for my nose contour. I put them in different places. Don't ask me how I know the difference. I'll dab the same way that I just dabbed for this. I'll dab on the hourglass, and I literally, look at that, barely touched it. Literally just a little tiny bit on each side. And then I will go across, because I like kind of like a button nose effect. So I'll go across and under. And then blend. And when you blend, you want to blend upward into your nose. You don't want to be dragging it down. You want to make it snatched. You're either going straight up and down or in. You're never going to be like doing that. Maybe a little tiny bit, but no, typically no. I kind of just play around with it till it looks blended. And then after I do that, so after I get kind of a good blend, I'll go back in the middle and do my highlighting again. And then I'll brush up with the highlight and kind of pat it in so that the sides are also giving snatch and everything's just kind of moving into the center of your face. I don't blend completely because once I put my setting powder on, it's going to kind of blend a little bit more. So I get it like right before I want it, and then I'll stop. I'm going to take my Rare Beauty blush. This is the liquid blush in the shade Grace. I love a pinky blush. I'm a girly girl. I just love a pinky blush. I just love it. It's so girly and cute and dainty. But I would take like a good amount on here and I'll smile. 1, 2, 3. Pay attention to that placement, girl. 1, 2, 3. That one was a little high, but it's okay. But anyways, I'm just following my cheekbone. Like if you have different cheekbones, maybe your cheekbones go more this way. Follow your cheekbones, like whatever works best to fit your face. I find that my cheekbones lift and I like a lifted look, so that's why I put my blush there. As for the brush, this brush actually came with my makeup bag, which is really surprising. I just randomly used it one day and I was like, oh, this is cute. So I would say maybe like a fluffier brush, maybe not like a dense brush for your blush. Tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a pepper, dang. But anyways, this is what I use, and I literally just go in circles, pat it in, making sure that I get all of my cheek. I try to go more down towards my contour versus up into my concealer. That's just my personal preference. I don't want my concealer to be too pinky. And yeah, I find that the fluffier brush just like gives you such a pretty blend. Like, look at that. Same thing for the other side. So pretty. Love. And you're literally just going to keep doing that till you don't have like the harsh lines, until you're satisfied with the blend. Sometimes after looking closely, I'll find like, okay, this spot needs a little bit more, and I'll just place a little tiny bit and just blend that in some. So kind of just play around with it. Yep, that did the trick. Okay, now as y'all noticed, I only concealed my eyes. I didn't fill them in. So for my brows, I literally just lightly stroke on the ends and I'll just fill them in. Everything is light. Keep that in mind. Everything is light. You're not being heavy-handed. This is like a light, delicate, smooth, cute makeup. So just keep that in mind. Even though even though this is 10 minutes, you want to go quick, this is your everyday makeup in the morning, whatever, you still want to have a light stroke. I won't really touch anything with the middle of my brows. I'll kind of just do the ends. And then this, I'll do light strokes up. Same thing with this one. Don't forget, I know y'all have heard this, eyebrows are cousins, not sisters. But really, I say they're sisters, not twins. Because cousins, that's a lot. That's a little bit off. Most people will look just a little bit like their cousins. So I'm going to say sisters. Alright, now for my favorite part, we're going to be doing our setting powder. I use the One Size Translucent. I don't care what anybody says. I will never, do you hear me? Never use another setting powder. I'll try everything else that's different, but I'm a stick decider. I used to have so many problems with like oil and my T-zone getting oily, my face not really looking all the way matte and like smooth. This has literally saved my life. Okay, that's dramatic. But this has saved my makeup life. Like, I don't care what anybody says. This is the best powder. If you're wanting, I guess it depends on the look you're wanting, because I also have the Huda Beauty powder. And that one is like for more of a heavier makeup look. This one I feel like you could go glam or you could go natural. It just eats. Laura Mercier, she's okay. This is my girl, I don't care. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Triangle Puff. And I'll basically just take a little bit. And you want to smooth it out, because how it's going to look on here is how it's going to look on your eye. So if you have all these clumps of powder and it's uneven, it's going to go on your face like that. So just smooth it out. Takes 3 seconds, makes so much difference. And I just pat. I put it everywhere that I had concealer. So under my eye. This area I really hyper focus on because I get oily there in that little T-zone, and I kind of just pat until it's almost gone. Wow, love that. Same thing here. With the T of my nose. And then I'll just kind of take it and go lightly over my brows. Then lastly, my chin. And yeah, that's kind of all the places. And I don't really let it sit. What I'll do is take that same brush that I used for some of my concealer and I'll just brush it off lightly. And more so like where there's a lot, I brush it off. Where there's a little bit, I kind of like pat it in, if that makes sense. For setting spray, we're going to be trying out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blurring Matte Setting Spray. The lady at Sephora told me that it was similar to my girl Charlotte Tilbury. They didn't have that. That is my go-to, but bottom line, this is my favorite one. This helps your makeup stay on so well throughout the day. And the best way that, and it's waterproof, so the best way I can explain it is like, if you sweat, if you have oil, if you do anything, you're gonna sweat, it's gonna dry, your makeup's gonna look the same. You go to a party, 5 hours later you come home, your makeup looks the same. Such a big difference and such a game changer. With that being said, I don't like to use this on its own because it's dry. Like, it literally is like hairspray. So I like to use something that kind of melts your makeup. So Charlotte Tilbury, we're going to try this one out. Just anyone that gives you kind of like a dewy melting look. And I'm going to let y'all know what I like, what I think about this. Because y'all are trying it with me. How exciting. Usually while I wait for my first round of setting spray to dry before I go ahead and put the One Size on, this is the part where I do my lashes. So I use just a regular lash curler. I got this from Walgreens and I just curl both my lashes. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I do the telescopic mascara from L'Oreal Paris, and then the Sky High Lash Sensational from Maybelline New York. So this one first, this one second. I'll be back. Okay, my lashes are done. Now for the finishing touches, my lip. Literally, I'm laughing because I use like 4 different things on my lip, but it's worth it. So I'm gonna do my lip combo and then I'll set everything, and then I'll be finished and I'll set everything. So first, I'm gonna be using this Makeup Forever Limitless Brown. I love this shade on me. I love this shade on me. It's like the perfect brown, not too dark, not too light. You guys, at the bottom, I don't overlap my lips. At the top, I do a tiny bit. Nothing too crazy. I kind of go like on top of my line. My line on the top isn't that harsh, so I kind of go on top of it versus like inside of it, if that makes sense. Second step is going to be the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade, what is this? I don't know if I'm tripping, but it doesn't say the exact shade. It just says BLG13. And I kind of put a little bit in here to blend it. I like a pinky nude. So then I use the Makeup by Mario Nude Glow. I love this. You can feel it on your lips. Like, it feels like pepperminty tingly, and it's like a stick gloss. So I just put that in the center. And when I'm rubbing it in, I'm not rubbing it in too crazy. Like, I'm just like, you know. And then lastly, I use the Huda Beauty faux filler in the shade Sugar Baby, I believe. Oh no, She Flirty. And this is like a nude gloss that I love. Once I have everything done, I've looked, I don't need to make any touch-ups, everything is to my satisfaction. That is when I spray the One Size powder. And she's heavy duty too, babe. So if you're gonna use it, get ready. I would keep my eyes closed for like 10 good seconds. And yes, that is my look. Nothing too crazy, perfect for every day. And yes, I just love it. I feel like it fits my face so well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like more of like the sit down makeup style videos, because I can definitely do these. Comment. I will have all of the products in the description box. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.